These are 7 dishes that I tried today at a hidden Cantonese restaurant deep in Bayside, Queens, New York. Is this a true hidden gem? Hi, this is Arthur from the Minute Review Show. If you have a minute, I have an opinion. This week, I visited a small restaurant called Happy Corner 13 on Horace Expressway. I wanted to see if it was possible to have decent, authentic Cantonese food far away from Flushing, Queens. As I arrived, I found a very tiny dining room. In fact, the kitchen took up half the floor space, but for good reason. They have a fairly big menu, and the kitchen size reflects this. In this video, I'll try many of their dishes, and by the end, we'll let you know what the star of the show is. Come and join me to check this place out. Hi, this is Arthur from the Minute Review Show, and today I'm at a restaurant called Happy Corner 13. Now, Happy Corner 13 is located on the south side of Bayside, so we're on Horace Parkway, and this particular restaurant has been around not for that long, but they're specializing in Cantonese food. It caught my eye during some of my research, so today I wanted to try out some of their roast meats and also some of their Cantonese dishes. Their menu is actually pretty simple. It's only one card with 2 sides and also a selection of dim sums over here. And apparently they have this menu available for the entire day, so you can have all day dim sum here. Judging from the size of the restaurant, it probably does a lot of takeout here. The restaurant is actually pretty small, so what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to check out the menu and show you what they have, and also at the end of the video I'm going to show you what I ordered and also let you know what my favorite dish is. I just made an interesting discovery. This restaurant is called Happy Corner 13, but on their dim sum menu it says Happy Garden Bayside, which is pretty interesting. So in any case, we can order through this dim sum menu. And this dim sum menu, as I was told, is an all-day dim sum menu. So let's take a look at some of the items. You have the regular shumai, the staples, shrimp dumpling, you have spring rolls, and you have egg custard buns. So basically a very small subset of the dim sum universe here, but it has all the basics here, both fried and steamed. Let's take a look at the regular menu. Now this menu has all the kitchen cooked items that are not dim sum, so let's take a look. We start off with clay pot rice, and over here they have an assortment of 4 different clay pot rices. What's interesting here is that the clay pot rices have the roast meat components. So over here you have soy sauce chicken, clay pot rice, barbecue roast pork, clay pot rice, which is highly unusual because most places don't serve roast meats over clay pot rice. We're going to order one of those and let you know what that's like. The first 3 clay pot rices are pretty traditional, as you can tell, from the preserved meats to the spare ribs. Next we have all their roast meats over rice dishes, and they're pretty economical. They're between $9 and $11. Very, very cheap these days. The next part of their menu on the flip side shows their kanji menu. Now there's 7 different types of kanji. You have plain kanji, and you have kanji with meatballs, choy sum, your regular preserved pork and preserved egg kanji, and they don't go higher than $8. What a great value. Next you have the Hong Kong noodle soups, and they come with all different types of noodles. The noodles include Ho Fun, My Fun, Lai Fun, and here are all your choices. They include wonton, different types of soy gao dumplings, and yeah, these are all your noodle soups. And then you have some boiled vegetables right down here. So yeah, this is a small menu, but it's pretty good if you want some of that comfort food. The first dish that came to our table is the barbecued roast pork, and I asked them to give me half fat, half lean, and this is what they gave me. This particular order is 1 pound. That's about $12, $13, and this is what we have. So yeah, this they chopped it up pretty well. It's looks kind of mixed up. It's not in a neat arrangement. So there's some scallions on top. Yeah, it looks like a pretty interesting way of presenting this dish. So I can't wait to give this a try. Okay, now's the time to try the barbecue roast pork, and this is what it looks like. They cut it pretty thin, probably like 2 millimeters thick. Look, it's pretty thin. So let's give it a try. Okay. The first thing that hits me about this barbecue roast pork is that it's a little sweet. Not bad. They warmed it up. It has a very nice flavor. It's not a very concentrated flavor in terms of the seasonings on the outside, but it's warm. There is definitely some fat in here, so yes, it is half lean, half fat. I have to say that it's a very simple taste. It's not a very complex taste to it. The overwhelming taste of this barbecue roast pork is more of the sweetness, but it does have that bean curdy flavor that you have in regular roast pork. And there's not a lot of glaze on the outside of the barbecue roast pork. So yeah, this is a very basic roast pork, but yeah, it's good for what it is and tastes like the real thing. The next dish that came to the table is the rice plate. This rice plate has two roast meats. One is the soy sauce chicken, and the other is the roast pig. So let's take a look. The side of this dish contains some cabbage, some boiled cabbage, which is the usual thing that comes with these rice plates. You have a pile of rice here, so let's test out to see how much rice they give you. So let's move this aside. That's about 2 inches of rice from what I can tell. Yes, about 2 inches of rice. We have some white meat here, and we have some roast pig here that is pretty good here. You see that there are 2 layers of fat and 3 layers of meat here. So this is definitely adequate, and that's actually a pretty good cut of pork belly. So let's move this around. So yeah, this is pretty much your standard plate of Chinese roast meats over rice. The next dish I'm having is the rice plate with the roast pig and also with the soy sauce chicken. So let's try the soy sauce chicken first. I forgot to mention that they did add some of that ginger scallion sauce on top of the chicken. So let's give this a try. This actually looks pretty good. Look how dark that skin is. Let's try this. Okay, that's breast meat. The thing that you always look for is to make sure that white meat is not too dry and this white meat is not overcooked. So they passed that test. Ginger sauce is excellent. Now, my only complaint about that is that it could be a little more salty, but then again, I'm an outlier. I love salty food. So yeah, there is definitely salt in that, but I would have liked the salt to be amped up a little bit more. But the chicken is great. For white meat, the margin of error is so small. So yeah, this is definitely adequate. I like that. Good job. The next item I'm going to try is the roast pig. Now, you have the crispy part on top, and then you have the meat on the bottom. So let's give this a try. Okay, the meat is definitely flavored okay, not flavored very strongly. And another thing that I noticed is that the bottom of the meat, where you have the all the flavorings on the bottom, that's nice and strong. Provides lots of flavor for the rest of the meat. The top part, the crispy part, isn't that crunchy, but still good. I don't know if it's the fact that it's around 4:30 now, so this might be an earlier batch, but this is still good. The basic flavor is there. It's nice and warm. So yeah, it's a very, very serviceable roast pig. So yeah, this isn't too bad. And not only that, they give you a pretty good portion of it. I saw about 4.5 inches worth of meat on that plate. So yeah, it's good. The last item I'm going to try is the rice. Let's see what this is like. That rice is awesome. That rice, I believe, is a jasmine rice. And one great thing about it is that for some reason, the rice seems to have some oil in it, so it's nice and silky smooth. It's actually pretty delicious. I love the mouthfeel. This is weird, but I think if you take that rice plate into consideration, the star of the show of that rice plate is the rice. I've never said that before in any review. So yeah, that rice is pretty amazing. We ordered the soup dumpling. Now the soup dumpling is in the dim sum menu. They come in an order of 6, as you can see, and they have nice white skin. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to hold on to the soup dumpling and tell you what the texture feels like. Okay, so as I'm holding on to this soup dumpling, I can tell that the skin is pretty thick because it's holding its shape. So the top appears to be a little doughy. So yeah, we're gonna give this a try and let you know what it's like on the inside. The next dish I'm going to try are the soup dumplings, and here's the soup dumpling. I took it out of the basket and I think this will tell the story. Look at this. See, it's not baggy at all. In fact, the skin is very thick. So let's give it a try. I have to give it a try, right? Okay. Okay, yeah. I'm biting the side, and then the soup that you can see is very clear, and it's almost water-like, more like a pork broth. It's a clear broth. It's a little sweet, a little bit of saltiness to it. I've had these before, and these are very typical of soup dumplings that are frozen, that are sold to restaurants. So yeah, this is definitely not a restaurant-made soup dumpling. It's just a reheated dumpling. But it is what it is, because hey, a lot of restaurants, you can't hire a dumpling specialist to make this type of stuff. Let's try the meat. Okay, the meat is flavored well, and I don't know, I think for some reason the meat is a little too sweet. Yeah, I wish that the meat would be dialed down a little bit more in terms of the sweetness. But the size of the meatball is actually pretty good. It's about an inch. The skin, as you can see, is definitely thick. I mean, not super thick, but thick enough that it holds its shape. So, all in all, this is basically a reheated soup dumpling. But if you're dying for soup dumplings, yeah, you can get this one. This will scratch the itch, but I wouldn't say that this is a exemplary example of a soup dumpling. So, yeah, it's just okay. Since this restaurant is a Cantonese restaurant, I had to try their wonton soup. And this is what their wonton soup looks like. You have some vegetables here. You also have a whole bunch of wontons. I didn't expect the wontons to be this big. Take a look at these. Wow, look at that. That is about 1.5 inches in size for their wontons. In fact, it's not even shaped like a wonton. It's more like a soigao, or a Chinese dumpling. So let's count these. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 wontons in this dish, and if I'm correct, I believe this might be only $10 for this bowl. So it comes with this giant ladle. So it's basically wontons and soup. This bowl is huge, including the wontons. These wontons are definitely oversized. Okay, now's the time to open up the wonton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it open, and let's take a look. Okay, the wonton is gigantic. This is about 1.5 to 1 3/4 inches, and as you can see, this looks mainly like a pork wonton. I'm not sure if I see any shrimp in here, but I'm gonna give it a try and let you know what it's like. Now's the time to try the wonton soup, and here it is. I just broke open that wonton, and I didn't see any shrimp in there, so let's give this a try. Okay, now there's a tiny bit of shrimp in here. What I love about this wonton is that I'm tasting the flavor of a very, I don't know, it's a very strong porky flavor that's really nice. Actually, what I love about this wonton is that it's been treated and has this really smooth texture that I really love. Not only that, the porky flavor, the smooth texture, I don't know, this isn't like your ordinary Cantonese wonton. It's a bit different. It's hard for me to put a finger on. There's a little bit of that, a tiny bit of sesame oil, a lot of umami in there, maybe a little bit of MSG, but the most important point to this is the porky flavor and also the smoothness of the meat. I really enjoy that because it's very different from the wontons that you get in Chinatown. But the size of it is definitely very good, and this is very tasty. So yeah, thumbs up for this type of wonton. It's very different. Now, let's try some of the soup. Okay, the soup is just the spring onions, and also it tastes like a pork-based soup. A very light broth, not the traditional fishy type broth, but this is good for that type of wonton, which is different. One thing that I should mention about this restaurant is that it's really small. There are 3 2-seater tables, and there are 2 4-seater tables. So when you come here, don't expect to eat in. You're probably not going to be able to find a seat if you're coming here during lunch. or during dinner. But come during off hours, you probably get a seat, but the restaurant is really small. I've been sitting here for a little while, and I've seen many people come in to get their pickup orders, so that might be your better option. The next dish we ordered is 3 flavors dumpling in soup. Now, this particular dish highlights the 3 different types of dumplings that they offer at this restaurant, Happy Corner 13. So here's one type of dumpling. Now it looks like the wonton. Let's keep digging. We have another white dumpling here. And then over here we have another dumpling with plenty of vegetables on the inside. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what's inside each of these 3 dumplings. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to crack them open and let you know what they're like. This is part of the 3 flavors dumpling noodle soup. Here is one of the dumplings. There's going to be 3 different dumplings. I think one is the wonton, so this is the second one. So let's take a look. Wow. Okay, as I break it open, it has that white skin, the white wrapper, and this looks like the wood ear fungus, and I don't know what else is in here. It looks like maybe some pork and some other types of vegetables, but I'm not really going to be able to tell you until I try it. So we're gonna give it a go. Okay, let's try dumpling number 1 out of that 3 dumpling soup. So this one looks like there's plenty of vegetables in here. So let's try it. Very interesting. It is the wood ear fungus, but I think this is a vegetarian dumpling. Wow, this is very different, but it's packed with flavor. There's some white pepper in there, some really savory bits in there. I think it might be some, not onions, but something that makes it taste really savory. There's plenty of salt in there, which I appreciate. This is quite interesting. A vegetarian crunchy soygao, but it's really tasty. It's better than any vegetarian dumpling I've ever had. This is really delicious. I just had a taste of that broth. The broth is pretty much the same as the wonton broth. It's a very light pork broth. So yes, I can't believe how tasty and flavorful that vegetarian dumpling was. Okay, this is the second dumpling from the 3 dumpling soup. So let's check out this soygao. Now this one is much firmer than the vegetarian one. So let's see what's inside. Let's break this open, and this one appears to be vegetarian also, but this one might be chives, and I see maybe I see some shrimp in there. So it looks like a chive and shrimp dumpling, but this one is very firm. So let's give it a try. Okay, we're down to dumpling number 2. This dumpling, I believe, is a chive and shrimp dumpling after opening it up. So let's give it a try. This is pretty big, just like a soygao. Soygao is about 2 inches long. Look how big this is. Let's try it. Yes, it is a shrimp dumpling, but it's not chives. I believe this is watercress, you see? Because it tastes like watercress. So yeah, this has that nice vegetarian, the vegetable taste of watercress that's in here. It's very light. Even though it's dense, it's light in taste. And once again, adequately seasoned. I don't like it when they don't put enough salt in here. This is adequately seasoned. That is one filling bite. So yeah, so far so good. I've had 2 dumplings that are vegetarian forward. Wow, really nice. Okay, now's the 3rd dumpling of our dumpling soup. So let's break this open and see what they got. Wow, this is really hard. This is really hard to break open. Let me see what they got. Oh, this is not a wonton. I thought this was a wonton, but it's not. This is an entire shrimp with some pork. So it's a shrimp and pork soygao, shrimp and pork soup dumpling. So let's give this a try. This actually looks quite fantastic. Okay, so I was wrong. I thought this dumpling was a wonton. It's not a wonton. It's a shrimp and pork soygao, or shrimp and pork dumpling. So let's give this a try. The flavorings of all 3 of these dumplings are amazing. Once again, same type of flavor profile. Very well seasoned. A little bit of that sesame oil in there. It has that strong porky flavor. I don't know what they used to bring that out, but that porky flavor is so strong and evident. I love it. Yeah, that soy dal is amazing. I have to say, you definitely should get that dish. That dish is amazing. Those 3 dumplings, as good as anything in Chinatown, I'm telling you. Those 3 dumplings, get that soup. Okay, now we're pouring the sauce over the pork patty. And yes, that's what we're going to see. We're going to let the sauce get all the way to the bottom. But what we're doing here is that we're breaking apart the pork. Make sure that they're in bite-sized pieces so that we can eat it easily. And there it goes. We ordered the pork patty over rice. This is a clay pot rice. Over here, you can see the pork patty that's been all cut up in the previous segment. You have some spring onions, you have some vegetables, and there should be some crispy rice on the bottom, but we'll get to that later. I want to emphasize how big this bowl is. This portion is big enough for 2 people. That's what the waiter told me. So take a look at this. This is really, really big. Look how big that patty is. That is humongous. And this portion, I said this 100 times, so this portion, they say it's big enough for 2 people, but I think 3 people can eat that pot right there. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the pork patty clay pot rice. Now this is what it is. I put it into a separate bowl. We're gonna try the pork patty. Let's see what it's like. You know, one thing that I find that they do very well here is that they velvet their meats really well. That pork patty, velveted perfectly. It's as well velveted as all the wontons that I've had. So it's quite good. Very smooth in the mouth, nice and soft. Okay, let's try some of the rice. Another great thing about this place is that I had the rice in the roast meats dish, and the rice is just as good in the clay pot. It's a very high quality rice, and it has that nice texture to it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a Japanese grain, like a Japanese long grain or medium grain rice. Whatever rice they're using, I really like the type of rice they use. Let's try more of that patty. Excellent. Another thing that I should mention is that the soy sauce that they use for their clay pot rice is not a thick soy sauce. It's actually a very thin soy sauce, and it's not especially sweet. Normally when you have clay pot rice, the soy sauce tends to be sweeter, but this isn't very sweet, so that's pretty surprising. So yeah, in terms of meat quality, this meat quality, that's off the charts. I really love the way that they season that meat and also velvet the meat. So this is something that's different. What I wanted to do is to show you all the crispy parts. As you can see, the crispy part of the bodaifan of the clay pot rice is right there. You see how nicely brown that is? It's a little burned now since I didn't move it around, but that is right there. We're gonna give that a try. Okay, now it's time to try the crispy rice. So this is it. One thing that I love about this is that it's not super thick. Some of the crispy rices tend to be too thin, but this is just the right size. It gives you enough to chew on. Good quality rice equals good crispy rice. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. I'm telling you, when you have good quality rice, everything flows from that. Very nice. It's tremendous. There's one thing that I should add about the clay pot rice. We bought 2 clay pot rices we're eating in the restaurant, and we were told from the waiter that it takes half an hour to make. And on the dot, they brought the clay pot rices to our table exactly 30 minutes later. Now it's time to pour the sauce, the sweet soy sauce, over the roast duck clay pot rice. And as you can see, these portions are going to be big enough for 2 people. That's what they say on the menu. So this one and the other one is big enough for 2 people. Okay. We ordered the roast duck and fried egg clay pot rice. Now this is highly unusual because normally roast meats aren't put into clay pot rices, but at this place they actually make it available. So over here you have 1 large fried egg. You also have some scallions, you have some veggies here, and then you have a bunch of roast duck right here. And that's about a 5-inch length of roast duck. And you have a bunch of rice over here. And this is all done in a clay pot. Okay, we're digging a little deeper into this roast duck clay pot rice. Basically, it's a lot of rice with some roast pork on top. Looks pretty impressive. Okay, the next dish I'm going to try is the roast duck clay pot rice. Here goes. This is just a roast duck that was cut off from the front of the place where they keep their roast ducks. So here goes. It's definitely acquired the heat from the cooking in the clay pot. They just cut up the pieces of duck and put it on top of that clay pot. They did it at the last minute so that the roast duck doesn't get overcooked. That was a breast piece. It tastes pretty much like your standard Cantonese roast duck. Nothing special about that, but definitely adequate in terms of roast duck quality. Now, that rice, once again, is the same rice that I had in the pork patty. Really, really high quality rice, nice and tasty, and lots of that crunchy stuff, as you can see, crunchy rice. So yeah, that roast duck rice actually has some of the fat that's been rendered from the roast duck that's gone into that rice. There's not a lot of it, but you can taste it. The interesting thing about both of the clay pot rices is that the clay pot rices doesn't seem to have the pork fat that's been put into that clay pot rice to make the rice more smooth. So this is a little different, but you know, what made up for that is the quality of the rice. So yeah, I guess it's a balancing act. I mean, some places use that pork fat, some places don't, like this one, but they surely made up for it with the quality of that rice. So yeah, this is a pretty good dish. Basically, the way I see this roast duck clay pot rice, it's basically just a rice platter with roast duck on it, just done in a different way. We got some mochi for dessert. Look at these big, beautiful, white piles of mochi. Looks really good. Can't wait to give this a try. Check out that delicious filling. Looks so good. We ordered a peanut mochi dessert, and this is what it looks like. And as you can see, I'm a little clumsy here. As you can see, there's 2.5 inches of mochi. There's a peanut filling in there, but they make it different everywhere. So let's see what it's like over here. Let's bite right into this. Look at the coconut flakes. They're falling right off. This is wonderful. There's a peanut dominant filling and just enough sugar to give it that nice sweet flavor. I haven't had one of these in a long time. The mochi is totally fresh, nice and bouncy. The more I bite into this, the more I forget how much I appreciate peanuts. These are really good. So yeah, nothing more that you can ask for a fresh mochi, from a fresh mochi. And now's the time for your favorite part of the show. Ta-da! The star of the show. And today, it was so difficult choosing. There were 2 dishes that just blew my socks off. But once again, there has to be that tiny margin that pushes one over the other. The 2 candidates that I had were the pork patty clay pot rice or the 3 dumpling soup. Now, both were absolutely delicious. The 3 dumpling soup had that amazing flavor, all that velveting of the meat. The soup wasn't superior, but the dumplings itself were quite amazing. The other dish, the pork patty clay pot rice, was equally amazing. It had the nice velveted pork, it had the amazing quality rice, and it also had that delicious, huge size, crispy rice on the bottom. So what did I choose? I chose the pork patty clay pot rice. And the reason why it tipped over to the star of the show is because that pork patty rice had quality ingredients, and also the chef just knew how to prepare that pork patty. Everything was nice, balanced, it was delicious. There was the softness of the rice, there's the crunchiness of the rice, there's the velveting of the meat. Basically, those factors tipped it a little bit over the dumplings. But you know what? If you come here, you should order both of them. They don't cost a lot. One was about 16 bucks, the other is about 10 bucks. So you can't go wrong. The prices are amazing, in addition to being the star of the show. Okay, what a meal. We had a lot of food today. The food was very, very good. And what is really amazing, and what I always appreciate, is that we're in Bayside, but we're away from Bell Boulevard, away from where all those nice Asian and all those American restaurants are. This particular area has fewer restaurants, and when you can find a good quality Chinese restaurant like this in this neighborhood, you really should go. Support the local businesses that are anchors in their neighborhood. Part of the reason why I wanted to come here is because I wanted to try something that is truly a neighborhood spot, not a destination spot. So yeah, I would have to say that this is definitely a solid place to come to. It's not busy, you know, like more of a destination spot. If you prefer to get takeout only, you can do that here. You could park your car outside and just come in here and grab your food. I can truly say that after having all those dishes that I've had, this is actually above average. I normally don't order so much, but I wanted to show you what they had here. So yeah, the food is definitely good here. If you have a chance, come here and support your local business. Thanks for watching the Minute Review Show. I'm into my 3rd year of the Minute Review Show, and I'm very happy to bring you these videos. Check out my channel. I have a lot of videos throughout New York City, and also they're in these convenient playlists that you can check out. And also, if you like to support my channel, you could always buy me a coffee. The link is over my shoulder right here. And I will see you again very soon in my next video. The final bill before tip is $94.07.